Hello again, welcome back everyone. LiquorHound here with you. Thank you for joining me for another spirit review video. And today we're going to be looking at two single malt whiskeys coming to us from the Exclusive Cask range of single malts that can be found at the Total Wine and More stores. Now, Total Wine is a national chain, so hopefully they're in your state, but if they're not, they do ship, okay? Now, the Exclusive Cask line, what I really like about them is that not only are they bottled at cask strength, but they are naturally colored, so you're never going to get any artificial colors or caramel added to these, alright? The other thing, they do cover a lot of different distilleries from all over Scotland. The two that I have in front of me today is from the Arran distillery, a 16-year-old, and the Bruichladdich 22. Now the Bruichladdich 22 is bottled at 50.6 ABV, that's 100.2 proof. There was only 222 of these released, and it was distilled in 1991, bottled in 2013. The Arran 16 is 51.2 ABV, that's 102.4 proof. There were 595 released, so, you know, many more than this guy. And it's actually distilled in 1997, bottled in 2013. Now, the fact that it was distilled in 1997 is pretty impressive, considering the Arran distillery has only been around since 1995. So this is some of their older whiskey. Okay, what else do we need to know? I think that's about it. Let's go ahead and get to the nosing and tasting. Arran 16. Now, I've always been a fan, especially of the Arran 14-year-old. Now, that can still be found as well out there. It is non-chill filtered, and that's a wonderful whiskey. This one has a definite feel like that Arran 14, but a little more sherry notes can be found on this nose. The thing I like about this one is while the barley is definitely there and it's lingering throughout on the nose, there is a sweet, maybe like a touch of a salted caramel in here. Rich fruits, berries, apricots, orchard type fruits. Almost with that sweetness, it almost feels like an apricot jam. And there's a hint of tobacco in here as well. Cinnamon spice. Maybe even a very, very subtle clove in there along with that cinnamon. We'll have to see on that tasting. Alright, Bruichladdich 22. Whoa. First thing you notice, barley, vanilla, oak, barrel char, a little bit of cinnamon, maybe even, again, a red apple, maybe some plums in here. I'm not getting tobacco like I was getting on this one on the finish. Maybe a hint of like a new leather. But it's definitely muted. The star is going to be the barley in this one that almost like with a little bit of honey on it, so it's very honeyed barley and those fruits, red apples, that oak, that vanilla, wonderful. Alright, get to the actual tasting. Arran 16. Thing I love about this one, it really changes gears on you. Just when you think you've got it nailed down, here comes, oh, well, we got this show coming on. Right up front, you do get this really big barley note. Think cereal grain right up front. Medium viscosity. Then, right in that mid palate, you get this little swell of the cinnamon. Very subtle mint, but it almost feels like eucalyptus, and then transforms on that mid palate with I guess it's a combination of that eucalyptus and that mint, make it almost feel like a menthol right in that mid palate. Cinnamon a little bit. Then that starts rolling off, and you actually get this really nice big loose leaf or a cigar tobacco feel coming on. But nobody ever fades out. So it's when these players are coming in, it's not that they're covering up anybody. It's just that they're all of a sudden it's like, oh, here I am, and then here I am. Very, very nice. Definitely a wild feeling whiskey. Not overly bearing as far as being hot on the palate. Touch of, wow. On that mid palate as well, there's also some cocoa notes, some cocoa powder coming in. Wow. I do like it when that menthol feel comes on. It feels very crisp, very refreshing and cooling almost in that mid palate. And you got that cinnamon right there with it, so you're almost confused as to, is this cooling or is this warming? But it definitely feels more cooling. And then that's when it transforms and rolls over right into this tobacco and this fruits rolling and the barley going throughout. Again, wow, very, very unique and wild whiskey. Rather enjoyable because it is very complex. Finish very, very long on that one. Alright, Bruichladdich, 22-year-old. Viscosity, a little higher than this one. Still medium, but it feels maybe a little touch softer, a little more elegant, whereas this one's wild, this one's more refined, a little more balanced. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still a little bit of spice and swell in that mid palate to spice things up, but right up front, it's a really big barley note. A big honeycomb or honey going along with it. On the mid palate, you get the oak coming in. That barrel char is feeling coming on in that mid palate, so you can almost taste that little bit of that vanilla and that oak char. Some toffee notes. Again, a very light dusting of almost like a bitter chocolate, a little cocoa powder as well. Plums, red apples, those are the fruits. But they're not the stars. The stars is the barley. The star is the honey, the vanilla, that barrel char. That's the big player. The fruits kind of roll in on top, but they're definitely there. And they all seem to meld together and flow throughout. So it's not shifting gears like this one did, very harsh, and it's like, here you go, here's the new guy. This one, it's almost like they develop and they roll into one another. Like I said, much more refined, a little more wild. But this is very exciting, very, very good whiskey. Matter of fact, they're both great whiskeys, as you can tell by these fill levels. But I can't really tell you which one. I think this one feels more definitely worth the $130. It is much more refined. A really nice, straightforward single malt whiskey that's not going to leave you bored. Okay, this one, $90. Wow, very, very unique in the single malt world. Again, those shifting gears make it very interesting. So I'm not sure which one you're going to prefer. I think they're both fabulous in their own right, and I hope everybody have a great evening. Thank you for those great comments, and cheers.